You're safe to just allow yourself to rest in the present experience. You're safe to not avoid it. You're safe to not run from it. You're safe to just relax in it and just enter it. You're safe to just allow yourself to be as you are without needing to push or pull at how you feel, at your own thoughts, at your experience, in any way whatsoever. You're safe to just allow life to move as it wants in this experience. You're safe to just let go of your desire to always control your experience. You're safe to just let go of the boundaries that define where you begin and end and where the external world begins and ends. You're safe to just be in your body. You're safe to just allow what is moving and flowing inside of your body, the sensations, feelings, emotions, to just continue moving on their own agenda as they like. You're safe to just allow yourself to stop needing to control how it is you feel and what it is that you feel. You're safe to just allow thoughts to enter your mind and then to pass. You're safe to just allow thoughts to arise and pass. We're spending a lot of our energy just in this avoidance of the present experience, avoiding examining ourselves. And it's absolutely no coincidence that this is the case. It's really something to kind of just marvel at, right? Just give it a sense of awe, really. That we're so talented at just avoiding the present experience. We're so talented at just not addressing the nature of our experience directly. We're so talented at being very ignorant of what this experience actually is. The term avoidance can be broken down to the word avoid dance. We're always just really running from what is true about this experience. We're running from what we truly are, what this experience truly is. The ego, the sense of self, constructs itself in response to pain and various fears that we experience at a very young age. And these pains and fears basically create the foundation of the sense of separate identity that humanity is kind of stuck in the illusion of. And you're completely safe to actually address all these underlying pains and fears that keep you stuck, really, in just cycles of suffering, cycles of avoidance, cycles of running. The ego also builds itself mainly on, of course, the avoidance of those pains and fears, rather than the ability to sit with them, allow them to move, allow them to flow, allow yourself to just feel them. Because, of course, at the age of around 2, when the sense of self is really beginning to get constructed pretty deeply, a 2-year-old doesn't have any ability to regulate feelings whatsoever, right? The ego is a very natural part of human development. But it takes you up to a certain level, and then if you want to move past it, right, that's a thing you can do. You can actually just move past strictly egoic levels of consciousness. Levels of consciousness that just constrict you to experiencing yourself as a body and a mind in some physical 3D world, as someone who's just in control of things, who can manipulate the world. You're safe to just ground yourself in this experience and really just inquire into what it is. Have you ever done that? Have you ever inquired into what experience is for 15 minutes with your own attention, with your own awareness, with your ability to kind of feel and sense into what it is? You're really safe to just simply observe experience without needing to get so involved in it, without needing to manipulate it, without needing to kind of get your hands in it. See, when you start to really surrender to your experience, right, as peaceful as it sounds, right, like this is like the sort of common thing in like the whole spiritual sort of like communities and stuff, is that, you know, like you surrender to your experience and it's peaceful, and it really is. But the thing is that really when you begin to surrender, all the things that block you from surrendering also begin to come up, which is all those fears and pains that you've avoided. So naturally all that stuff starts to come up too. And you're safe to really just address the things that you avoid in your life. Specifically, the parts of you that you avoid. Because this is really what you've been doing every single day for many, many years now, is like this constant struggle to avoid pain and remain in pleasure. I believe in Buddhism this is like one of the 5 skandhas, I believe is what it's called, that make up our whole sense of self and other, our whole sense of separate existence. Right, this is one of the 5 that the Buddhist philosophy really touches upon. Grasping onto experience, chasing certain experiences, certain feelings, pleasures, etc., while also avoiding and rejecting other experiences. Right? And of course this doesn't mean to go and harm yourself or anything like that. Right? This means that the sensations that you experience of discomfort and emotional pain, you don't have to avoid them, because if you actually look at your experience, parts of your body are tense, right? You can actually really inquire and just begin slowly right now, begin looking at yourself. Parts of your body are tense, right? And there's this like unconscious/subconscious struggle against certain feelings that exist inside you, sensations, certain energy flows that exist inside you, certain realizations, right? And you just kind of avoid them, right? With this tension, with this like restlessness in the present. And you're absolutely safe to really begin to just stop avoiding, because this is really the root of your suffering. You're really safe to just allow the sensations in your body to move freely. You're safe to just examine all the ways in which you want to escape yourself and slowly eliminate them and replace them with mindful presence. Replace them with a sense of groundedness within your own self. And this is essential for being healthy, psychologically, emotionally, and physically healthy. This is essential for your long-term development, really. Because all the ways that you avoid and escape yourself are actually hindering your ability to really develop, to be grounded inside yourself. Right? So if I were to ask you, where are you in your body right now, right? Like, how grounded are you in your body right now? Where can you really put your awareness in? You'll notice that there's some parts of your body where it's pretty easy to kind of be embodied, right? It's easy to be in it. It's easy to like sense into it and feel it. Other places, though, are numb, constricted, tense. They feel like there's just a general avoidance to actually bringing awareness into those parts. Maybe it's in your gut. Maybe your gut is like habitually tense. This is like a very common, if not the most common place for people to store tension, is when you're walking around really just looking at your gut, looking at your stomach. Is it just kind of in this clench and this hold? Right? Your shoulders are raised, things like this. I apologize about the wind if it's kind of screwing up the audio. It's almost like your body is this like clenched fist. Like there's certain muscles in your body that are just clenched like this, right? And you're just walking around all the time, and you're unconsciously like really squeezing your hand, right? Squeezing all the muscles, squeezing your body, really. That's what this represents, right? And you can really do this with me, so you can get a good idea of how uncomfortable this actually is, right? If you really squeeze your hand very hard in this like ridiculous way, right? It gets uncomfortable very fast. Like my hand is not in any real comfort whatsoever as I do this. And then what I'm saying is that instead of doing this all day, like this, like, right, this bracing for impact, bracing for disaster, what you can actually do is just like, allow your hand to kind of just return to its natural and open state. Right? And it starts to feel far better. Right? And you can notice the contrast in experience with a closed fist like this, and it's like, versus just kind of having it open and relaxed. And you can do the same thing with the muscles that are in your body. It's just that there's certain energy flows that you keep avoiding, keep repressing. You actually don't want to feel them, and then you just kind of tense and constrict yourself around them. Your body just like refuses to allow the energy in you to actually flow in a healthy and I want to use the word normal, but in a more functional way. I believe that's a better word. Your body refuses to allow the energy in your body. Your body refuses to allow the energy to move in an organic and natural way. Right? Because really deep down you're actually just horrified. Right? And that's I want you to actually reflect on my choice of words there. I use the word horrified because this is really what it is. Like deep down there's just like a fear inside of you, a fear of death, a fear of impermanence, a fear of the sense of flow of reality, a fear of the sense of no solidity, no permanence. There's just a total avoidance of what is actually going on in this experience. There's a fear of realizing that there is no definite, permanent self in you whatsoever. There's a fear of directly realizing everything in this constant change and flow. There's an avoidance of pain. Right? It's this stuff that is keeping this sort of like ego game alive, this sense of separate, indefinite self alive. And it's this exact stuff that is contributing to maybe 90 to 99% of the suffering that you experience. Right? Because suffering is self-inflicted. And you don't know that you're doing it. And what I'm saying is that you're very safe to examine all the ways in which you create your own suffering and really begin to alleviate yourself of them. Right? You're safe to examine your mental resistance, the beliefs you have that keep you trapped in suffering. This is probably the most easiest to communicate because it's just kind of in the mental realm of things. Right? Beliefs like this experience shouldn't be happening. Right? This is just a prime example of a belief that we have that can cause suffering because there's this very obvious fight against what's happening right now. There's emotional resistance where the actual sensations in your body, you're not really feeling them. You're avoiding them. You're repressing them. You're not grounded in them. You're not feeling the flow, the fluidity of your experience. Right? Keyword there is fluidity because life is fluid. Literally, life is completely ever-changing and totally dynamic. There's a constant sense of energy flow that you avoid because the sort of worldview of like solid, fixed reality that you feel safer in this temporarily, but it gets to the point where this view, it stunts your development and it actually causes suffering. It's good for a child developing an ego so that he can get, things he needs in order to survive and navigate the world in a somewhat effective way. But as a grown adult, you're not a child anymore. You can begin to move past your ego, but of course this isn't the reality that humanity is in. We're really stuck in low levels of our developmental stages. Right? So that's the emotional resistance. It's just the pure avoidance of the felt sense of experience, which holds tremendous value and well-being. It's really a source of just well-being when you're really grounded in it. Next is this physiological resistance. Where you kind of tense up your body. Right? It's like there's this flow of energy occurring through your body at all times. There's this subjective sense of flow and sensation and energy. And it can't fully move throughout your body. It's like you're able to bring awareness and allow the energy to flow smoothly, let's say in your hand or a little bit in your arm, not entirely even in your arm, right? But not so much in your gut. In your gut, it's like very blocked up and it's very rigid. Maybe in some areas of your gut, but then as you move into some other areas of your gut, you can feel there's tension and energy can't really flow through properly. Right, so there's this mental, emotional, and sort of physiological resistance that needs to be dismantled, and you can actually begin to experience reality in a more fluid, flowy way. And then when I say things like there's an intelligent rhythm to life, this isn't like a poetic thing, this is just your lived experience. This is like in your awareness in real time. This isn't just like a fancy saying. This is like, no, I'm being very literal. Like reality is conscious. It's a mind, not a physical 3D world. So just allow yourself to rest in the moment. See, you're always avoiding it, overexerting energy, scattering your energy into this and to that. You have all these goals, right? And it's fine to have goals, but have some dedicated time to just letting go. Letting go of goals, letting go of control, letting go of your agenda, right? Just like I said, life is this dynamic flow. Sometimes it's good to kind of take charge, have a little bit of a sense of control, but then, right, in other moments, gotta let go of control, right? And you need to have this flexibility within your being. Sometimes it's good to be assertive. Sometimes it's good to just kind of step back, be receptive, right? You can't get attached to non-attachment. That's like an advanced Buddhist teaching. Right? You can't get attached to letting go. You have to let go of letting go, right? And then you'll notice that sometimes you got to hold on and then let go. Right, like when you buy a plant, you hold on to the plant. Right? You water it, you maintain it, you give it the care it needs to survive, and then it dies one day, and then you're able to let it go. Right? But this more advanced sort of way of being that I'm communicating here, where you're not attached to letting go, it's not the same as your ordinary, typical experience. Because even in the midst of attachment, there's like this sense of just like fluid, flowy energy exchange. And this sense of like I can let this person or thing be without always needing it around me in this clingy way. Right? So there's not a grasping anymore. The grasping is like minimal to none. Basically none. You feel safe enough to just allow things to be as they are, without always needing to dictate how things should be. You actually trust nature, trust life, trust the intelligent rhythm of life, instead of always fighting against it. See, if you're confused about what I'm saying when it comes to this intelligent rhythm of life, if you just cannot relate to that experience, not even in the slightest, the only reason really why you can't is because you're always fighting against life. You're always self-absorbed. You're actually always stuck in your own thoughts, which are very rigid, they're very mechanical, very robotic, and the flow of life is spontaneous, fluid. It's happening in the felt experience. It's happening once you really surrender to what is, right? What is the present. Surrender into it, feel it. You're examining it, right? You're actually curious about what is my experience. Have you ever even gotten curious about, wait, what is this experience, right? I grew up and I was told that this is grass and this is a tree and this is Lucas and I'm just this human, and I was given this whole model of reality, but I never really examined it for myself. Like, really, what is this? What am I? So really get curious about your own experience, right? You can use your awareness to actually probe into it and gather valuable information that you can't do with thought. It's more non-conceptual. So that's it for this video. I'm offering one-to-one coaching. You can book a call, you can apply for a call, really. Take it easy.